Hello, welcome to Grief, Loss, and New Traditions during the holidays. My name is Selena Freimark. I am a health and well-being educator with UW-Madison Division of Extension. During this presentation, participants will increase understanding of empathy and its importance, increase knowledge of the grief process, identify their own coping mechanisms, understand resources to support others and themselves, and gain ideas on how to form new traditions during the holidays. We're going to be talking today about grief and loss. In our culture, grief isn't really talked about out in the open, so many of us don't have a lot of experience talking about it. Please know that if emotions arise during our time together, that's okay, and it's normal. If you feel the need to take a break, that's okay too. We recognize that we might not all have the same comfort level or the same experiences or have the same knowledge base when talking about grief. As I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about grief during our time together. Every one of us has experienced grief in some form. As we talk about grief and how to be with it, we're going to practice holding space for each other. Holding space means to be present with someone, mentally, physically, emotionally, without attaching judgment or trying to fix or to change. It's sort of like practicing empathy while being in someone's presence. Next, let's watch a video clip that helps illustrate this.
My rocket! Wait! Riley and I were still using that rocket. It still has some song power left. Who's your friend who likes to play? No! No, you can't take my rocket to the top! Riley and I are going to the moon! Riley can't be done with me.
Hey, it's gonna be okay. We can fix this. We just need to get back to headquarters. Which way to the train station?
I had a whole trip planned for us.
Hey, who's ticklish, huh? Here comes the tickle monster. Hey, Bing Bong, look at this. Oh, here's a fun game. You point to the train station and we all go there. Won't that be fun? Come on, let's go to the train station.
I'm sorry they took your rocket. They took something that you loved. It's gone. Forever.
Sadness. Don't make him feel worse.
Sorry.
It's all I had left of Riley.
I bet you and Riley had great adventures.
Oh, they were wonderful. Once we flew back in time, we had breakfast twice that day.
Sadness.
It sounds amazing. I bet Riley liked it.
Oh, she did. We were best friends.
Yeah, it's sad.
I'm okay now. Come on, the train station is this way.
How did you do that?
I don't know. He was sad, so I listened to what...
Hey, there's the train.
In this video clip from Pixar's movie Inside Out, we saw the characters Joy, Sadness, and Bing Bong. What did you notice watching this clip? What did Sadness do? What did Joy do? Where did you see empathy being played out? Now, grief can bring up different things for different people. Here's a definition from the National Hospice and Palliative Care Organization about grief. They say grief is a normal and natural response to the loss of someone or something important to you. It's a natural part of life. Grief is a typical reaction to death, divorce, job loss, a move away from family and friends, or a loss of good health due to illness. Now, grief can happen in response to any type of loss. Many of us have been through many losses this year in particular. How true is this picture for you? Can anyone resonate with the squiggly line? Grief and loss is hard and uncomfortable and downright painful at times. It can feel as though it's all over the place. We might want it to work in a straight line fashion, but it doesn't work that way. Grief reactions may include feeling empty and numb, as if you are in a state of shock, physical responses such as nausea, trouble breathing, crying, confusion, lack of energy, dry mouth, or changes in sleeping and eating patterns. Perhaps anger at a situation or a person in general. Guilt about what you did or didn't do. Withdrawal from family, friends, and common activities. Difficulty focusing, working, making decisions. Questions about faith or spirituality. Challenges to the meaning, value, and the purpose you might find in life. It's important to remember that grief is different for each person. It's important to realize that while grief and its intensity will subside, most find that it's replaced by a sweet sadness that comes at times of remembrance. There are many factors that affect how long a person grieves, including age, maturity, personality, physical and mental health, their coping style, culture, spiritual and religious background, family background, and other stressors and life experiences. The time spent grieving may also depend on how prepared a person was before the loss that they experienced. Grief lasts as long as it lasts. Although that's difficult to hear, it's true. It might feel really, really big right now. Over time, it may transform to smaller and smaller bits. It may not totally go away, but often we find that grief can transform and become smaller. Drawing on our individual strengths can be helpful when moving through grief and loss. Here's an activity that we recommend doing to take a few minutes, reflect, and journal on a few of these items that you see listed here. Feel free to pause the recording right now to do this activity and drawing on your strengths. Spending time on reflecting on these can help us in the future when we need to help in the healing process by drawing on our personal strengths and interests. As we've learned, the way grief feels can be different for everyone, and not everyone processes grief in the same way. Intuitive grievers often experience grief in waves. They have a tendency to need to express their feelings. They might cry more, want to share more. They have often profound and painful feelings. Whereas instrumental grievers might feel it more physically or cognitively. For them, it might be more of an intellectual process, something to do to resolve, something that we want to keep busy or active, channeling that energy into activity. Or there's blended grievers. Blended grievers combine both intuitive and instrumental grieving styles. Researchers do note that those who draw from a broad range of adapted strategies are likely to do better. Those with the ability to integrate all aspects of self seem to best be able to respond to crises. It's important for workplaces and organizations to support multiple self-care activities. And then dissonant grievers. They might not express grief the way they're wired. For example, a dissonant griever may naturally be more intuitive, but doesn't think that that reaction is socially acceptable. In response, this person may stuff their feelings. Suppression, the ongoing conscious and deliberate act of avoiding painful feelings by pushing painful feelings aside. That's different from repression. It can help us to know what type of griever we are, but knowing that people don't necessarily grieve in the same way can help us understand others as well. What type of grieving style do you think you resonate most with? So let's talk about support. Rituals can be a way to honor memories and help make memory and meaning from a loss. Some ways to do this are grief diaries, memory books, a memory jar, a collage, maybe lighting a candle, saying prayers and storytelling, activities in one's spiritual culture or family traditions. Pictured here is a memory lantern. For this project, a person takes small pieces of tissue paper and writes down favorite memories or things that they've missed in the past year. Then you attach those pieces of tissue paper on the jar, the outside of the jar, with a mixture of glue and water, and then let that dry. Once dry, you can put a candle in that jar and perhaps set it on the table. Grief is not a tidy, orderly process, and there's no single right way to grieve. Sometimes we need support from others to help us through the hard times. Remember that every person, every family grieves differently. Reaching out to others for support can be really helpful in the grieving process. Counseling and support services can be a guide through some of the challenges of grieving as a person adjusts to that loss. Grief support and counseling can be provided by professionals. There are grief support groups often available, and they're there for participants to help support one another. There are other ways to get assistance, as you can see here. These following helplines are free, confidential, and available 24/7. The United Way 211 can connect to social services and local supports. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration National Helpline, the Treatment Referral and Information Service for individuals and families facing mental and/or substance abuse disorders. The Veterans Crisis Line, the Friendship Line, and the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It is okay to ask for help. Helping someone who is grieving. Listen. Accept all feelings. Offer hope, but respectfully rather than to help them stop feeling their feelings. Respect individual needs. Avoid cliches. Things like everything happens for a reason. While this might help you and comfort you, it might not help the person who's grieving. Understand and accept cultural and religious perspectives. Offer specific help. What day can I drop off dinner? Would it be helpful to have company right now? Can I check in with you tomorrow? Help the person ease into activities. They may decline, just keep trying. Check in as time goes by. There's often busyness right after a loss, and then gradually people stop checking in. Make a point to check in even after time's gone by. And be sensitive to holidays and special days. Our feelings of grief and loss can be particularly strong during the holidays. Sometimes due to the losses we've had, and with COVID-19, we are not able to celebrate or practice long-held traditions. While giving permission to ourselves to grieve our losses, we can also create something new that might assist in our healing and increase mental well-being. When tasked with making tough decisions amidst grief and unwanted change, it can be helpful to dig into the why. Sometimes getting down to the why or core value of a tradition can help with making decisions and find ways to adapt differently when needed. Why is a particular tradition important to you? For example, maybe you feel deeply disappointed you can't have big family dinner with lots of relatives this year. What about that are you missing the most? Physical presence, connection, memories, maybe even the routine? What does it mean for you if you can't do the things you traditionally do? Is it the desire for normalcy? Does it mean that we would then have to accept the thing that we don't want to accept? Once you dig deeper into the value something brings to you, you may be able to adapt a little better. Guidance from public health is to stay home as much as possible, limit non-essential activities, and limit contact with others outside your household. If you do go out, wear a mask, stay at least 6 feet apart from others, and wash your hands regularly. However, we know that many people do not have a choice of where they work or live, and that some cannot engage in prevention practices because of underlying conditions or systemic inequalities. Here are 3 resources that can help guide you in your decision-making process. These links are available on our website. It's okay to be sad and disappointed about not having the holiday you want or need. It's okay to mourn the losses you've had and continue to have. For our well-being, what we can do is try to both honor the losses that have occurred and feel our feelings around that loss, and at the same time, see if there are some adaptations or something new we can create. We might not be able to capture everything, but often we can create something, however small, that captures the essence of what we're missing. We might have a cardboard sled instead of the speedy toboggan this year, but we can still have fun racing down the hill. A few ways to adapt this year. Watch a special movie together over video chat. Create an audio or visual journal of friends and family singing favorite songs or sharing holiday memories. Bundle up for an outdoor bonfire or caroling with household members. Enjoy a virtual holiday trivia game night. Instead of gathering around a table, connect virtually, but have the same meal. Unwrap gifts over the phone or computer. Make gift bags of goodies for people to pick up from your doorstep or have mailed. Or have an upside down or opposite holiday. Be creative. What other ideas do you have planned this year? Another way we can help manage our feelings of grief and loss around the holidays and due to COVID is to take intentional time to think about things we can look forward to once we move into a new normal. Here's some questions to think about. What are some things you can look forward to? Are there any small insights you've gained to take with you into the future? Can you name 2 to 3 things you are grateful for that happened in the past year? Is it possible to hold a seed of hope, however small or large, while we move through grief and loss? I invite you to pause the recording now to reflect on the above questions. We'd like to share this quote as we end. All the art of living lies in a fine mingling of letting go and holding on. We have had to let go of many things this year. Yet there are things we can always hold on to that time and space does not affect. It's our work to navigate this fine line. Know that you're not alone. On our webpage, you'll find handouts and a link to an evaluation. We'd love to hear your feedback on this presentation. Please contact us with any questions you might have. Thank you for watching.